If you're installing new door casing trim, check out my tips and tricks that'll make sure your project looks like a professional carpenter did it himself. The standard reveal between the door casing and the door frame is 1/4 inch. We're gonna start off with a combination square like this if you have one, and we're gonna set it to 1/4 inch sticking up right here. This part right here is already a 1/4 inch from up here. Now I've got a perfect 1/4 inch here and a 1/4 inch here. You can lay this out as so, mark 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch here. That shows me right where I want the edge of both of my casings to come together. Now a standard residential door is 80 inches or 6'8". We want to cut our piece long enough so that it will match up to the top casing, the outside corner. So we're going to cut it at 7'2" or 86 inches just to be safe. Now I'm not a professional, so I kind of have a hillbilly setup here, but if you're watching this video, you're probably not professional either. You're gonna have a similar hillbilly setup probably. You're gonna want a good miter saw. Borrowed this from my brother. You need a nice flat work surface. I just have an old door set up here. And then you need to have the trim supported at the same elevation as your saw. My saw bed's about 3.5 inches off the door. So I've got a 2x4 turned up, screwed into the door, so my trim will set at the same height as my saw bed. All right, so let's set our trim up to our door. We're gonna make sure we got the outside of the casing facing out on each side of the door. So it goes like this. We want to push our casing down so it's tight on the floor, and then we wanna line it up with our mark here. So we got the 1/4 inch reveal, and then we wanna mark right where the top 1/4 inch reveal is. So that's our inside corner right here. Then I'm gonna mark my trim diagonal like that so I know when I get outside how I'm cutting this corner. It's gonna help a lot. Now we want to have nice perfect corners that are closed on the face and on the width right here. So I'm going to make sure that the saw is set at 0 degrees on the angle side to side. Set my saw to 45 degrees here. Turn it to 45 degrees the other direction. Get a nice flat work surface. Bring them together and see, got a nice nice corner here. And if you look at the width, I got a nice tight corner there also. So I know that my saw is set properly. So now I'm ready to cut my miter joints. Right here is the mark that I made from the door frame for the inside corner. I don't want to just try to cut right to that to start with, because if I cut too much, you know, I can't add back on. So I'm going to start my cut with it back a little bit, and then we'll sneak up on it. You can see right there, I still have about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch to cut. So I'm gonna sneak up a little bit. Now that's perfect. That is exactly on my pencil mark. Now you don't want to just start nailing away without checking the pressure on your gun first. I've taken 2 scrap pieces of trim and put them back to back, shot a couple nails in it at the different pressures, and I'm at about 115 PSI using a 2-inch 18 gauge brad, and it seems to be just about perfect. You're supposed to hold your gun sideways when you're nailing down this way. You don't want to hold it up this way because it's more likely to shoot off to the left or right and come out, which obviously you don't want. I want to set up on my 1/4 inch reveal. I want to push down on my trim till I'm at the corner mark that I made. I'm gonna put one nail up there to start with. I like to nail it once at the top, once in the middle, once at the bottom, and then one in between each of those for a total of 5 locations down each side, total of 10 nails, 2 at both locations, 1 in the door frame, 1 in the stud. All right, so I'm just eyeballing. I'm gonna keep a 1/4 inch reveal all the way down. I'm gonna nail it in the middle, then I'm gonna go to the bottom. Right now I'm just nailing into the door frame. After I've got the 1/4 inch reveal set, I'm gonna go and nail into the stud beside the door right here. All right, now we're gonna cut our top piece. So I wanna measure what the overall width is gonna be. I'm right at about 30 inches, so I'm gonna cut it extra long. I'll cut it about maybe 32 inches, and I wanna cut 145 to meet up to this one, but I'm not gonna cut the other one yet. All right, now I'm gonna put my miter corner into this corner, and I'm gonna come over here. eyeball as best I can where this other corner is gonna be, but I wanna make it a little long because I can always trim off more. So let's start off right about there. Now let's go miter this corner. All right, now I'm gonna get this corner nice and tight, and then I'm gonna mark this one where I need to trim it. Come over here, and I can see I need to take off about 1/16 of an inch. I'll put some wood glue on here, a little bit up here, and smooth it out with your finger just a little bit. Let's do our fit up. All right, now that's looking beautiful. I got a little bit of twist here that I got to deal with, but let's get it nailed. Only nail the trim to the door frame at this point. Do not nail it to the wall. We want to check our outside corner of the trim to make sure it's nice and tight, and we're actually going to nail the two pieces of trim together before nailing to the wall. The face of this piece of trim should be on the same plane as the face of this piece of trim. It should be nice and tight right here. You shouldn't have an open corner. So I'm going to get this puppy lined up. And then I'm gonna nail down to hold them together. Watch out for your thumb. All right, now these are perfectly flat, perfectly on the same plane, nice tight corner. Now I can nail it down. And something a carpenter showed me is if you have a spackle knife like this, you can put it behind the trim and you can flex it out if you have to get, tight here or here or here. Let me go ahead and flex this out while I push here. Don't forget a damp rag to wipe any glue that might be coming out. All right, and this one looks beautiful. We're ready to move on to the next. Let me know in the comments below if this video is a help for you or if you have your own tips for me. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.